Hey everybody, it's your buddy Beard Grizzly, and let's go off the cuff. I don't have a script in front of me, I've got nothing, and in fact I've got to get to work in about 2 hours, so let's see what I can do in that time. We just finished up the reveal stream for Curse of Osiris, and I'm mixed, but mostly excited. The large majority of what they ended up showing off was pretty cool, and we did get a few answers for things that I was assuming, but they ended up just telling us flat out, which is kind of cool. One instance, let's jump right into the ideas on like lore, story, so on. Trials of Osiris was always something that bugged me. It didn't feel like it was something that Osiris had a hand in. I don't have any other way that I can explain it past. It just didn't feel right. And then as soon as we ended up getting the information here through the reveal stream, they ended up saying a couple things. And I'm just going to actually find the clip and let it play. But they said a couple things that made sense.
And if Ikora had a favorite pupil, he's also got, well, maybe not a favorite follower. I don't even know if Osiris knows he has followers.
He knows, but, you know, he doesn't like the celebrity aspect.
Okay.
So there you have it. It wasn't necessarily that Brother Vance had anything to do with Osiris. He was just a big fan of Osiris. Really continuing with these connotations of religion and following something, I swear. But I think it does serve to put things into perspective. The trials were basically there for the sake of saying, we're just going to try to find somebody and try to just do it in his name more than anything else. I actually touched base on this in the other video that's coming up probably tomorrow at this point. But just so you guys have an idea, like, these thoughts were already kind of creeping in my head, and I'm kind of glad that they've already kind of come out to talk about them. Also, in terms of Firefly characters, apparently Sagira lasts a little shorter than Wash does.
I'm doing this for the both of us.
Don't you even... Osiris!
But in all seriousness, the question does come down to a couple of things. How long has Sagira been sitting in the sands like that? And considering there was an image that was floating around on the internet for a little while here, we did see a couple things that were produced from having Sagira sitting with Ikora for some reason. Now I think it makes a little bit more sense. Sagira is either damaged or something else is lost about her, but one way or another now we have another Guardian that is now within the Vex Gate network that has no ghost. And the only other one that we knew of that had this kind of problem before was Tevis Larson. From Taken King, Tevis Larson is the one that ended up giving you the powers of the Void Bow, and he was the one that lost his ghost before getting pulled into the Black Garden, or not Black Garden, but it was the Pantheon, the Crucible area. Yeah, there we go. They call it the Black Garden, though. If I remember right, by all accounts, they call it the Black Garden. That's another thing that's always kind of flipped me funny. Speaking of flipping me funny in terms of how things were kind of presented, they said that the place that Osiris was showing up in the trailer was actually the Endless Forest. If you followed any of the ideas of what's been produced from that reveal trailer, we all thought we were inside of the Vault of Glass. Now, one thing that has always kind of struck me as odd, though, is that they're calling this the same but different, but it isn't, and per usual, it's the Vex. I mean, come on, they're all going to be in some way interconnected, and I think that's what this kind of serves to show. And I kind of gave my own twisted ideas on this over on Twitter. Blue Crew 86 from Focusfire Chat asks, so if Osiris wasn't in the VOG, but in the Infinite Forest, that implies that they are able to simulate Guardians? And the question is valid. The question is very valid, and it's always been one that we've had on our minds for a while now. Can Vex simulate us? Can they simulate Guardians? Can they do anything in that respect? But I think it's a little bit easier than that. What if, like a network and like a gate system or anything else, said Infinite Forest is also connected to the Vault, which is also connected to the Black Garden, or any number of gardens that are out there, because we know this garden isn't the only garden to exist within the Vex systems. And this kind of culminates a new question that we have to investigate and think about, and I'm curious on what they're going to end up playing with this on. It's an interesting concept, if nothing else, just having everything linked together the way that it is. And here I am rambling again, like that's anything new. If you actually look up at the skybox in Mercury, you can actually, of course, see the sun, but in a silhouetted kind of environment, you can see the Almighty. It is just kind of hanging there. And if this is going along with what they had said, it was 3 months after the Red War, which means that they're just doing a real-time emphasis on how everything's played out. Obviously, of course, Destiny 2 came out in September. Now it is going to be December when the game is released. That would be near exactly about 3 months. Which I guess also serves to say that it did only take a few days to actually, you know, break down Gull's empire. Well, it's canon, guys. Wars officially in Destiny take about 2 or 3 days. There you have it. On a stupid side stance and a silly standpoint on my end, though, if you've got something hanging that close to the sun, I don't necessarily care what it is. It's probably going to get burnt to a cinder after a few months, and probably just be either a husk of what it is. On top of that, it probably isn't going to be hanging there. The only thing that was protecting it originally was some kind of like a solar shield that it had previously, but with power perceived to be gone from the Almighty, there's no real way that this thing could keep its solar shield. And we were also kind of told towards the end of things in the campaign that the Almighty was just laid waste. I'm confused. But once again, when dealing with the Vex, you've got timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff, and that gets to be a real big problem. And you never know really how things are going to actually play out. And if you go through the trailer at all, it's pretty hard to miss all the weapons that also have a lot of the typical Radiolaria lines that are going through them, very similar to how we've seen the Altered Sun bracers that Osiris uses. At that point, it looks like this Vex tech idea is going to carry over to what we can use now too, and not just something that Skolas or the Fallen have stolen as well. And they did reveal a little bit about these raid layers or layers. I think everybody's still kind of talking about them in different ways. I want to say it's a layer though. But anyway, the base idea behind them I think is pretty cool, actually. Just to revisit these areas, to dig deeper and so on. I would think for something like Vault of Glass, that would have been pretty cool. The idea that you could actually go to like a different path within the vault, since we all know that it kind of winds in a different way. That would have been a great and interesting concept, a different means to kind of wind between different paths and networks that the Vex kind of have put together. I think that would have been pretty cool. But instead, of course, we only ever got the one layer, and we only ever really got to see the one way that everything was put together. So I'm anxious to see how this is. This is different, and it does at least pop up with some ideas that, yes, this is a good way to kind of reintroduce stories and see things from a different way. And I am still interested in what Callus has to tell us. Who knows, we could actually pick up on some of that Fallen stuff that they ended up pulling away from the Prestige gear before. And I did almost forget to mention, when you're actually on Mercury and you look up, I had said this in the reveal trailer trying to figure out what the structure was above. That's Mercury, that's the crust. Apparently what we are actually in is inside the planet of Mercury. The Vex literally have transformed this thing from the inside out, and I kind of like that in a way. We have seen that they're able to terraform and change things, but not to this extent. What I think this kind of goes to show actually is that the Vex are not ones to just kind of push away their base nature. They're actually okay with talking about things a little bit more, and I kind of do like that. It's interesting. If nothing else, it is interesting. They're still organic to a point, but they are basically robots. But anyway, guys, I think that is going to be it for me. I got about half an hour to put this thing together and possibly get it up to you guys. Just something quick. Like I said, I don't see enough here to really extrapolate from this trailer or from this reveal too much. Anyway, that is it for me. I will talk to you guys soon. We will have another video go live tomorrow with the Why Do You Care About Osiris? And some of you have already seen that little bits before. But that is it for me, and I will see you next Spacetime Guardians. Take care of yourselves.